The Iron Princes have finally begun to converge for their conference on the future of Freeburg, Logan Seeger and Eisenrid Large. Under threat of violence from the Relaskier, the Iron Princes have been escorted across the city to the Draken's Tooth, the former headquarters of the Wakund. Margot Struben, the woman orchestrating the coup on the Iron Princes, has mysteriously learned the location of the conference. Her preparations were interrupted by Rosa Nix, Eric Seeger, and Ettore Mondavi as they traveled through the sewers to get to the Draken's Tooth. The brave spider Otto carried word to Honorine that the Tooth was in danger, and an evacuation was sounded. The Freeburg Council is gathered to fight the Relaskier in the sewers beneath the city where the Relaskier have stockpiled weapons, explosives, and supporters for this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Rain is coming down on the streets of Freeburg in sheets, which means that the Draken's Tooth, under which a very pitched battle is being fought, has rain coming in through roads, through sewers, sometimes even through the building itself. For the most part, thatch and planks do wonders, but nothing is ever properly and perfectly sealed. Uh, and Finer Hearth is many things, but it is not particularly well made. It was constructed in a hurry, and the sewers reflect that. So there is rain that comes in and falls into both of the lines of the sewer system that surround the Draken's Tooth, where we rejoin our heroic crew mid-battle. Um, on one side of the Draken's Tooth, we have a pitched battle between uh, Margot Rubin and her followers, recently joined by the forces of, well, they're on one part Drakinia, the Kithrinia transformed into dragon shape and ridden across part of the water by Fauner Posen, as well as we have Honorine and Runa, who have identified that the woman whose death was caused in order to be infiltrated is standing on the bridge near to where Gav is fighting against some of the minions of the Relaskier. Um, Upman has been found alive but injured, and the mentally shattered Iron Prince Heinzel is attempting to get him safe to safety in a moment of lucidity. Um, South of the Draken's Tooth, we have Hans and Odell have just arrived upon the part of the sewers that is inhabited already by a legendary beast of the sewers named the Mund. It has gripped one of Hans's men in one of its tentacles, and Odell, who has admitted that he has no ability to reload the single pistol he's brought with him, it takes a moment, takes a breath, seems to think twice of his actions, but then shoots and hits the tentacle, and the man like drops into safety and into the water. And some of the other guardsmen are trying to reach and get something to him that they can pull him to safety while the creature is coming towards the side. Ettore is locked in battle with one of the veteran soldiers amongst the Relaskier, and coming to join them are Eric Seeger and Logan Seeger, who the elder has not yet realized that his own son is just steps behind him on a bridge. Um, Len and Arthur are charging up the same bridge, while Rosa and Falk are still standing on the other side, trying to bring themselves into the combat. And across everything, there's shouts being heard, gunshots. Exactly what and happening and where is almost impossible to determine between darkness and the crash of different sounds. And that is where we are picking up. Um, all sorts of chaos afoot. Um, but uh, before we do that, we're going to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. And on this Father's Day, a lot of us have different relationships with our own fathers, but the Dirty 20 gaming community definitely has a father. And so we want to take a moment here to acknowledge Kevin, who's been an influence for everybody here. For me personally, I think seeing Kevin GM was what inspired me to get back into trying to make GMing like a regular thing. To go, I can stream this, I can do this. I struggled for years with trying to like get together with friends when I have a schedule that constantly moves me and constantly puts me in different states, and doing anything face to face has been like a once every other month at best kind of prospect. This has been immensely rewarding, and on top of that, the community itself has been something that has been very life-changing for me. I've never really felt a part of a community. I've always been the weirdo with the gaming books and, the outsider. And this community has made me feel like a part of it. And I think Kevin is responsible for it being as welcoming as it is. And I just wanted to say thank you for that. So I am going to hot potato us over to Honorin because she never gets to go first.
Hi there. I am Gloriosa, also known as Blaze of Gloriosa. I haunt the Discord frequently. I am here on Thursday nights, but I'm behind the camera because I'm a producer for the wonderful Thursday night game, Deviant Paradox, full of chaos gremlins, and I'm one of them. Um, I am here tonight as Honorine. Um, she's a noblewoman. She's doing her very best. She's doing her heckin' best. Um, but yeah, um, I also appreciate Kevin on this happy Father's Day, our channel father. Um, I like that he makes the distinction between being kind to everyone. Like, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of input, and we don't always have the ability to be kind. The distinction between that and being nice to somebody and perhaps smiling at them and wishing them a good day while calling them an asshole in your head, like, we all pretty much have the ability to do that. And it makes the world a little bit of a better place. So, like, that distinction is something I've gotten a stronger sense of from Dirty 20, and it's due to Kevin. And it has made my life much easier and much nicer. Um, so, next we can let's go to Back Kyle.
Well, hi there, folks. I'm Bat Kyle. You found me. And you can find me currently here on Sundays and Sundays only playing Len, Big Spear Costin. I mean, he's still the ass of Asura, but he's also got a big spear. That's what the ladies say. You can always find me also on our amazing, wonderful, welcoming Discord, where I am still an absolute gremlin. You can usually find me in the chats for other games, trying my best to add some levity and or break as many players as possible and make them laugh on screen because, well, the world needs more laughter, and I am just a troll. Uh, Besides that, Kevin made me feel just instantly welcome. Glory was the first one to come across this community, thanks to Twitter, and I'm always going to call it that. Um, and after watching her interactions and everything, I just kind of dipped my toe in and said hi, and immediately was welcomed. Jumped in a Tiny Frontiers game that was just a lot of fun. Kevin absolutely went along with all of my weirdness right off the bat.
Was that Honest
Um,
John?
no, no, that was the Tiny Frontiers where I played Doctor Thenway.
Oh my god, yes!
Yeah, so and just from there, I got to know everybody else here and started to menace them too, because that's what I do. And I've really found just a fantastic, warm, welcoming, accepting group of people who care about each other, look out for each other, and it's all really because Kevin looks out for us, looks out for it. He has just worked tirelessly to maintain a community where nobody feels like an outsider, nobody feels unaccepted, nobody feels unappreciated. He's always had the motto, if you're here, we'll get you a game. So he's somebody I look up to as being just a wonderful, caring, open, giving person that I could never be because I enjoy other people's tears too much. Um, but I appreciate him day in and day out. I appreciate this community day in day out. And if you're not part of it, you should be. You really should be. that said, let's go ahead and hot potato this over to Runa.
Hi, I'm Ruth. I'm here today as Runa. You found me. I'm working on reclaiming the bit. Yeah, okay, buddy. I'm also here on Tuesdays as Exit, our resident fixer. And Thursdays as Nora. Maybe not for long. We'll find out.
She might be becoming Nora's.
She may be becoming the whole Ars Goetia. I'm one away from becoming a vessel. It's fine. This is fine. Yes. What I would like to say about Kevin is he has built this community and he treasures it so much, and he doesn't let it not be a community. Like, if there are any like disagreements or lines being crossed, he will deal with that immediately, as so it's not an issue. And if someone just isn't messing with, like, isn't with the community vibe and it's a consistent problem, then they don't get the honor of being in that community. And he's just constantly bringing people in, and it's great because it works. I remember my first game, I was supposed to be in the world at large for like a session or like 3. I was a guest spot, and I got a message after 1 or 2 sessions where I was with everyone in the world at large, and he went, "So I talked to everyone and we've decided unanimously that we want to keep you." And that brought joy. I got really excited about that. And here I am in 3, almost 4 games a week. But I love it here. And Kevin did that. I've never seen truer community until joining Dirty 20. And I'm gonna pass it to Rory, because the mic's unmuted.
That works out pretty well. Hi, everybody. My name is Rory. I'm here tonight playing this wonderful game with all of these wonderful people as Mr. Leg Day himself, our wonderful soldier boy.
You!
I was muted!
We'll get everybody at some point.
Currently only present on the channel this on these fine Sunday evenings, but that may very well change in the future. Aside from playing this awesome game, you can find some of my past musical endeavors on SoundCloud, with more musical endeavors to come soon. And you can also find me here on this fun platform known as Twitch pretty soon, playing a fun little kind of improvised radio DJ show I've come up with. And
I'm so hyped for that. I'm so hyped for it.
I'm also really excited. I'm starting to come up with like themes and bits for episodes, so it should be very entertaining.
It's so fun being in his brainstorming sessions. I don't do anything, I'm just there.
But,
you're the coding duck. The duck that coders talk to when they need to talk out a problem. That's
me.
And last but certainly not least, I personally just would like to say thank you in front of everyone to Kevin for inviting me to join this community and inviting me to bring my awkward and not fully fleshed out Fallen Aasimar into the world at large. And I mean, I went from not really knowing how to interact in these groups, how to play these games, to playing a Scottish turtle who smoked cigars, to uh, to playing this crazy possessed German soldier. And I'm appreciative of the amount that I've been able to grow with this community, and there's all the fun I've had with all these people. And always appreciate the one Starforged one shot. I think we did, or no, it was Tiny Frontiers. The one Tiny Frontiers one shot way back when. But yeah, I'm really happy to have been invited to join all these awesome people. And with that, I'm gonna hot potato it over to Gav.
That's me. Hi. I am Bison underscore Stonefist. I am a regular contributor on this channel, which is a fancy way of saying I have no life. I'm here 4 times a week. Tonight I'm playing Gav, our back alley Batman and sewer surf and suplex machine. Um, on Tuesdays, I am the poor bastard responsible for wrangling 4 cybertech cats in Carnage Heights. It's an absolute riot. I wouldn't trade it for the world. On Thursdays, I play the resident punk, Garrett Sakes, on Deviant Paradox. That's going to be really interesting on Thursday. I'm super excited for it. And on Saturday, when we can, because life comes first, I play Calvin Scooter Hobbs, our ersatz captain and professional con man in our Star Forged game, Starsworn. That one's a lot of fun. I wish I could play more, but as we say, life comes first, and 3 out of the 4 players have chronic health problems. As to Kevin, I've been here almost since the beginning of Dirty 20 Gaming. I was here for the first Friday Fun Shot, and I was so nervous I had to get drunk before the game just to actually be on screen. Kevin has been one of my closest friends for 5 years now. He's a good person. When I was in the hospital after my stroke, he visited probably 4, almost 5 times a week, like literally almost every other day. And he kept me going. He kept my spirits up. He made me want to keep going. And yeah, I thank the universe for Kevin Parody. He's probably my best friend right now. And I'm gonna cry. So I think we've just got Sarah left, right? Yes. So I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna find a tissue.
Oh. I literally said, oh no, I'm gonna be the one who's last and I can't go after Bison. So hey y'all. My name is Sarah. I go by Sans on the Discord. I am here currently 3 times a week. Probably starting to be 4 relatively soon. I'm in the Thursday game, Cyberpunk Red, Carnage Heights as Magic Broken Heart of the team, literally now. Thursday, I am the DM for the City of Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox, Chaos Incarnate. Tonight I play Rosa Nyx in Shadow of the Wachtturm, who we will get to meet in a moment. I also work with the Scarred Adventurer on stuff and things that'll come out eventually. God, what do I say about Kevin? When I joined Dirty 20 Game, because I ended up joining through a game called Dorm Life through another YouTube channel, I was a very different person. It was very hard to get me to talk openly about anything. And Kevin saw me like that and still said, hey, why don't you come play on a Friday free show? And ended up playing, I think it was called beautiful space pirates, I want to say. And I know Bison was in it with me. And yeah, it was something like that. And since then, I have been in as many games as I could, because being part of this community, it isn't just a community, because honestly, everyone here is like family. It has become a very insane, crazy family. So when we do say channel dad, he truly is. Um and I am so proud to be part of this community, and thank you, Kevin, for making something that I don't know who I would be today without everyone here. Giving it back to Siosa because I'm gonna go cry now.
So I think I can speak for everyone when I say very seriously, you've made a difference in our lives, and we just wanted to acknowledge it. So um, I'm going to get into the gaming now, which is the space that you have made available for all of us. We have a bit of a wild situation. We are live testing a new system that I've done to try to make this go a lot faster. Um, and it's going to come down to like some crazy high rolls that are kind of like uh, the collected defensive and attack values of like the entire party, and then they're going to get to like decide amongst themselves who's taking how many wounds and stuff like that. Except for poor Hans, who's off in a silo on his own for now against a tentacle monster, um, which I'm sure will be fine. Uh, so here is how this is gonna break down. I'm gonna do the rolls. Is work. This is gonna be one big, just one big fight, really. Like every round is gonna be one sequence of like attack, defense, soak, and then reversed. And then all wounds are assessed at the end. And when that does, that's gonna become dramatic wounds, which are gonna be applied and kind of like knock people out of the fight. If somebody wants to put forward a case for doing something that's not fighting, like trying to convince people to surrender or something like that, we can switch over to trying to use like social roles to try to bring people in. But it's going to have to be kind of like one or the other. And I think most people right now are in the fighting mode. And you also will have to convince the Iron Princes to do something like that. Um, because most of them are fighting and most of them are longtime veterans, so getting them to stop fighting is a little bit more difficult. So, the uh, the first silo is actually the entire northern, or is the entire group that's going to be coming up to like the north side, because the Seegers and Ettore and Arthur and Len and everybody like that, like they're all kind of like passing through this area. But since this is not meant to be like one round and we're not going to be like tracking movement during it or anything like that, that was all just, it was too much like time being consumed for not enough out of it. So basically, what you're doing is you're saying, I'm staying to the silo, or I'm trying to go over to help Hans in his silo. Like, Len and Arthur are the only piece, Rosa too, are like the only PCs that I will give that option to right now because they're close enough to kind of see that there's conflict going on over on that side. But they can also hear conflict on the other side and Gav being in a fight. So I will give you guys the chance now to like move to Hans's fight and to join in there, or you can stay in the much bigger fight that's going to be happening up north.
I am staying in the much bigger fight up north. Len is fully focused. He knows if all this is congregating here, they've got to stop them here or they're going to blow a chunk of the city sky high. Plus a lot of people he cares about. So,
yeah, okay. So same question to Rosa. I'm assuming that Arthur is at this point going to be following Logan and trying to keep him alive throughout the course of this fight, and Logan is following Eric. Eric is going to the north.
Rosa, Rosa can't fight, so she knows she's not gonna be helpful for Hans. What she is good at is seeing if she can get information. So
Okay.
she's gonna go to the part of the north and see if she can talk some sense into people. Or
Okay.
scare some sense into people, whichever works.
So I'm going to say that it's not going to be likely that she's going to be able to talk sense into people because there's active gunfire and you know what I'm saying? Like people don't tend to listen to like lay down your arms when others are shouting and running at them and stuff. But what I will do is I'm going to give you like arcana rolls throughout this that aren't going to count against your actions that will give you information. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You can tell me like every turn, I want to know if there's anything about that person, or does that make sense? And I'll give you that roll. So okay. So with that said, you know, some of Rose's stuff is still going to count because she's still going to be like dodging bullets. She's still going to potentially be able to get hit. Um, and hey, if nothing else, it's more dramatic wounds to spread between everybody, right? um, Honoring. Same question to you. You had mentioned before the possibility that you were going to be slipping out of the fight to try to get Upman and Heinzel away from it, and possibly not involving yourself in the conflict. You'd mentioned that in a DM, and I want to know where your thoughts are now.
I had mentioned that. Which does not feel like a good thing to do to Runa.
She'll
However,
be fine, maybe.
maybe. Yeah. However, I don't see a better option, and she also wants to check on the thing that I told you about,
Okay.
which will come
So
up later.
So what if it is something where she's going to participate in the first round because, you know, there's an imminent threat against Runa, and then she's going to go try checking out the round after that.
Sure.
Okay. Um, okay. So it sounds like everybody except for Hans is in the northern silo. And so I'm going to have you guys pick who is going to roll your attack, who's going to roll your defense, or actually defense isn't going to be rolled. It's going to be a flat number. Who's going to roll your attack and who's going to be rolling your soak?
I mean, I can roll the first big attack. If somebody else wants to roll the soak.
I'll roll the soak.
Okay. Yep, because Len is just barreling up there, her, to try and keep them from boom sploding the sewers, the buildings above, all these people down here. I mean, he'd be fine if they could just boom explode the tentacle monster, but that doesn't seem like
That doesn't seem like the objective at the moment.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm about to roll some dice. Don't freak out. This is going to seem really big, but this is why this was done as a spreadsheet.
And I rolled a VLOOKUP.
That's the deep lore right there.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Okay, so that number is going to have 40 added to it, and that's going to be their total attack roll. All right, so that's going to be a total of 297. The players collectively have a defense score of actually, I'm going to change this. I would like this to be rolled because I think that's going to be a better benefit. So who would like to roll the defense?
I can.
Okay, so you're going to roll 77, keep 37.
77, keep 37.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Holy shit. Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Freaked out over nothing. Got it.
We're
There's
kind
two
of motivated
19s
here.
in there.
Okay, so that
And a
is
25.
so that means that there is no like significant damage. Like I'm gonna assume you guys are like accumulating flesh wounds during the course of this. Does that make sense? There's gonna be like close hits, etc., etc. All right. So now it is y'all's turn to roll your attack, and they're gonna roll their defense.
Alrighty, let's do this.
Ooh.
Big spear leading the way.
Okay, so your attack is going to be let me math real quick. That is not math, that is my snip. Wrong app. So you are rolling 72, keep 35.
350.
I was
Said,
like,
God
There were
damn
like
it, monster.
there were 3 double explosions in there. Holy shit.
It's a lot of dice. So
One of the tentacle monsters tried to grab one of Hans's men, and I said, God damn it, monster. You get your own men to snack on.
Monster.
okay. So 61. I'm drawing a complete blank for just a moment. And I add 30 to this because the number of brutes that they have. So 218. Okay, so
Beat them by
218.
over 100.
Yep.
Oof.
So that's 350 minus 248 is 102. So that's 10 dice of damage that is going to be done.
Okay. Do I need to roll that?
That is going to be 10k10 and actually, because I haven't accounted for that weapons have a base damage of 2k2, I'm going to actually double that. So every 10 that you, so well, here's what we'll do. For every 5 that you beat it by, you'll roll a die for damage.
So 20, keep 20 in this
Yes.
case? All right.
And Gav, remind me of that when actually, I'll just add it right now. Len has that too, so you have an extra die on this. So when it comes down to-
108.
Okay. And they have 25 dice worth of soak. So
Ooh.
as I said, I have not like done an extensive amount of testing on this. Okay, so 175. Okay, but I don't want to have a system where you guys are just continually punching each other without doing anything. So let me see how it goes after this round. Does that make sense? And we'll see if it's like 2 rounds of like not actually doing anything to harm each other because the values are so high, I will edit some things. Does that make sense? Oh, and actually the thing that I forgot is that you guys have an advantage in actions over them. So you got 108, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that actually comes out to 210 because of the difference in actions. Because you guys have effectively like 19 more actions per round than they do.
Nice. And we
yeah.
we pinchered them. We've definitely put them on the
So-
back foot.
So coming out to 40 to 35 points of damage. I'm going to divide that by 10 for dramatic wounds. So
3 dramatic wounds.
So 3 dramatic wounds, which is going to completely kill like their 3 dramatic wounds. I will have instead just kill off their brute squads for this first round. which has been giving
That
them the
works.
plus 40 and plus 30. So
Yeah.
basically,
Cool.
it is
Okay.
kind of a round of like enormous bloodshed against all of the brutes.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
mean, and that's what Len and Gav, especially, I think, would have been focusing on. Probably Arthur too, but mostly Len and Gav, just laying into these groups of peons who are trying to get in the way. Len would be mostly using his spear more like a quarterstaff, just to knock them into the nasty water and get them as out of the fight as possible.
Yeah. Margot, the lady in green, the large man that's like near the door, none of them seem to have been like injured seriously in this, nor have most of like the veteran soldiers. They seem to like know where to stand, know where to be at, that kind of thing. So that was your attack roll against them, which brings but before we do that, let's give a quick pause. That was just sort of like a mechanical test to see how things were working. Does that make sense? And it came out kind of how I expected, because while they have more people, you have higher, like better trained people as a rule.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
More
They have more actions,
specialized.
they have Draconize and etc. It might go a little bit differently for Hans, because he has one big monster and just a Hans.
Yep. Well, I have one squad, but
You do have a
I
squad,
only
and
have one.
it's giving you a plus 15 to your roll because it's a tier 3 brute squad. So
Oh yeah, because these are like actually like trained guardsmen, not
yes.
just like random
Okay.
thugs.
So kind of like backing out, it's the group from the south that is coming up like across the bridges and stuff like that. It's kind of crashing in right as like Gav is being surrounded by the others that are on the boat. I'm gonna just fully reveal the map right now so that you understand the precarity of the situation that Gav was in.
I can't
Yeah.
see the map, by the way.
Yeah, you should
I
be able
can.
to see.
There
Can
we
you
go.
see it now?
But you have
I
to
just
sometimes you have to like move around on the thing. Sometimes it just disappears and you have to move around until you find it. It's
No,
odd.
it's also all the way zoomed out, so I'd see something.
Okay, refresh your page.
Yeah, because I'm seeing.
If that doesn't work, like kill your browser and bring it back.
yeah, for some reason I can't like
There
move
it
some of
is.
the tokens and stuff either. So
No,
but yeah,
why
you
is
can
it
see like
not
there were multiple veteran soldiers backed up and whatnot. That would all be reaching at this point, but there's the sudden arrival of not one but two Iron Princes, one of them temporarily aside a Draken, the other one Logan charging in, bloodied and shot, sword in one hand and Panzer hand in the other, Eric, and like Logan right behind him, along with Len and Arthur, and kind of as the like veteran soldiers are crossing on their boats to kind of help out the one who just been knocked into the water, is when the other groups arrive, and they're Eric Seeger leaps straight onto a boat and starts hacking. Um, uh, there's like more gunfire from Margot until the dragon like kind of rears up out of the water and hits her with a claw and like slams her against the wall, and she gets herself back up and then dives through the doors, as does the big miner who is hefting one of the barrels. Um, the the lady in green up here is continually drawing back. She's retreating back across the bridge, um, from where Runa is at, giving Heinzel and Upman the opportunity to get out, um, and honoring to make the choices to like where she's going to go. One of the things that I'm assuming is happening at this point as well is that, Runa's lightning kind of like hit the wall, and Honoring's ability to feed flames keeps it from just kind of immediately snuffing out, even though it's on like wet brick and stone. It's beginning to like grow and cast illumination over the entire area near to the bridge. Well, and she like watches like the movement of the flame and is hurrying back across it, realizing that it might not be there for long. So now is when the the first round. I'm thinking that Gav was just sort of like he was just beset by people and like fighting off and trying not to get stabbed, and there was enough of a disadvantage in numbers that it was trying to avoid taking significant injury while getting jumped on. Now we're moving to the next, or we're going to resolve Hans here in a minute. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about this. I'm going to be incorporating a system from Exalted in which describing what your character's doing in such a way was going to give you between 1 and 3 extra dice as like a stunt. Does that make sense? 3 is going to be rare. It's going to be like really like, this is super appropriate to my character. It's incredibly well described. And is like definitely like a pivotal moment of the game of like everybody going like, oh, that's cool, that's perfect. 2 is just a good description. 1 is like, we have a clear idea of like what you're doing. So something as simple as like, Runa, like I'm reading up and blasting with more lightning, that counts as a 1. Does that make sense? Because at least I visually know what you're doing. Like, I know what your priorities are. So let's go down to Hans real quick. You're rolling your own stuff.
Yippee!
The tentacle creature is going to be rolling its attack against you first. This is going to look a lot more like some normal combat.
Okay.
Because
Less people involved.
yeah. Okay, it got a 41 to hit. You have a plus 15 to your defense. So go ahead and roll your wits and your defense and add a 15 to it.
Damn. Okay. Defense.
Oh, and give yourself an extra. So it's not just your defense that you're rolling. You also get to add in Odell's. So you have a total of 13 keep 6 plus 15. So you should be able to beat a 41 fairly easily. Like, it's mad, but
6 plus 15. 55 plus 15.
Okay. So yeah, like, for you, it's kind of like you've seen all sorts of like horrific shadow things in the forests. You fought against them. So like the fact that there's a bunch of tentacles coming at you doesn't even make you flinch. Like your brutes are kind of like, that is tentacles and monsters and a mouth, and and you're just kind of snapping orders like, get him out of the water, fending off some of the tentacles. Grabbing one of them, with one of your hands, and that is an extremely strong beast. It does have a brawn of 6. So,
okay, yeah.
Pulling
me up like a couple
now
inches.
you're going to make your attack roll against it. Odell has a finesse of 1, so he's only giving you 1 extra die, but he does have 3 attack dice. I'm going to assume one of the brutes is like quickly reloading for him. And he's just doing his best to sort of like ward off a tentacle with his one hand as best he can.
Swat them away a little bit, yeah. Okay. So it should be wise.
I think it's a total of 8 keep 3 for your finesse.
Okay, yeah, because he's got 1. Okay. Yeah, that checks out. That's 36.
Okay.
So.
And its defense is a 25. So with your plus 15, that's going to be significant. So what's 36 plus 15 is 51, right?
36, yeah, 51.
And I was saying that there's a die of damage for every 5. So that should be 4. Or
that'd
no, that's 5.
That'd be 5. Yeah.
So roll 5, keep 5, and I'm going to roll his brawn of 6 as a soak.
All right.
Would it be brawn or resolve?
Brawn. Resolve is how many dramatic wounds you have.
Okay.
It's a 17 damage.
Okay, so yeah, you're not doing anything significant to it, but it is taking that as flesh wounds, and they will add up as normal. So,
I mean, it's a big tentacle monster. It's also kind of hard to hit from hacking at the tiny.
And it's now fully like up against the side, like tentacles coming at you, trying to pull people into the water, trying to pull people into its mouth. It is aware of where it has the least advantage, but it also has a very animal intellect. Okay. So, all right, so. Let's go back to the northern side. Like you're having a whole, sandworm coming out of the tentacle, like just coming at you, but you're keeping everybody together. You're keeping everybody from panic. Nobody's actually been harmed yet. You've gotten the guy out of the water. He's probably going to need some shots once that becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And penicillin is invented, but
For now, we'll just give him whiskey.
Yeah. Whiskey bath is about the same, right? Okay. So everybody, let me know your actions for this round, kind of like what your character's focus is and what they're doing. You're still going to be involved in the fighting, even if you're kind of like looking at something else, but I might call for some other roles from your character. By the time you're up here, Rosa will have line of sight on everybody. Margot, the miner here, the lady in green. She can do an Arcana check to see the Arcana of any of them, but only one per round. And if she wants to see a relationship between two of them, she has to define which one she's looking for and between who.
Okay. I want to see Margot for sure.
Okay.
Because she's the one that we thought was dead, right?
No. The lady in green is the one you thought was dead.
Lady's green. Okay, that's who I'm looking at then.
Okay. So go ahead and you're going to give me a Wits and Arcana roll. And then we're going to go back to the rolling of, so it's the same roll as before, as far as attack and defense.
27.
That's on your Arcana?
Yep.
Okay. Let me do the other rolls and I'll resolve that at the end. But wait, before we roll, everybody describe your actions and I'll give stunt dice as a bonus.
My goal with the lady in green, she's gonna like quickly look to Heinzel and go, Koenig, please get Sir Upman out of here. And she's pursuing the lady in green, and I'd like to try to intimidate her.
Okay. To what end? Like, is it just to kind of like make her fumble in the midst of this, or
let her guard, like try to get her to fumble, maybe let her guard down.
So here is what I will do. And I will let other people kind of join in on this if you want. If you're able to beat her her resolve times 5 with the number of raises equal to her resolve, then she's going to withdraw from this fight. She's not going to surrender, but she will leave it.
Okay. This is something I can maybe do because I know I can't hit her.
Okay.
Not with lightning, at least.
Okay, so her resolve is a 3. So her resolve times 5 plus 5 is a 20, and you need 3 raises to get her to just flat leave. So that's going to be a total of 35.
I'll do the 3 raises.
Do you have anything that you would say qualifies as a bonus to an intimidation?
Confidence. And lightning. I can probably make myself spark and look cool, maybe. I don't know.
You know what? I will let you roll your
It's just a
mastery
bad-
as just sort of like, summoning some lightning and making your runes crackle, and I will let you roll your mastery as a bonus on it.
I was just gonna say it's probably still crackling from when she threw lightning at the wall too.
So would that be a 7 keep 5? Because my resolve is 5.
So your resolve is 5, so you get 2 extra from your mastery level, and you need to get a 35. You may spend drama dice on this if you would like to.
Oh, I have another rune that I can use. And for some reason, I forget which one. Solitude. Because if I can do that, I don't need to use drama die.
Okay, I will let you, if you make the activation roll, I'll allow you to use it as a bonus. Which I think with the resolve, actually, you have a resolve of 5, and I think it's only a target number 15. So for the sake of speed, let's just say you get it and give yourself 2 extra unkept die.
So my resolve.
9 keep 5. With your bonuses.
Right, yeah.
9 keep 5, target number 35.
51.
Oh.
Okay. So I will remove her from the equation, which is actually going to change the balance of a few things. As she had a wits of 6, so she added significantly to their defense. So tell me what Runa is saying to intimidate her.
Oh, I should have thought this through instead of danced. Oh no.
I'm going to give you a moment and come back to you.
Yeah.
I want to hear what other people are up to.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
Len is focused on clearing his way to the gunpowder cache. He's not really focused on murder at this point, so he's out there straight Shaolin monkeying it with his boar spear, slashing ankles, slashing, stabs at faces, clubbing people into the water, shoving them aside, shoving them down. He is not going for, fancy, I'm going to stab you in the gut and bleed you out. He is pretty much fighting against these people like he knows how to fight against a wolf pack.
okay. I'm going to give you guys, when it comes to your attack roll, since you've defined yourself as primarily like on the offense, I'm going to give you guys 2 extra unkept die on the attack.
Ooh.
What is Gab doing during this?
If he is able, Gav is basically making a beeline straight for the big miner and Margot specifically, but he knows the big guy has to go first. What I remember about before is he had a big barrel in one hand.
He's the barrel is like a full size beer keg. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he actually has both arms around it. It looks like his job is just trying to get it back inside.
Well, his job is going to be bouncing off that wall because that is a 400-pound drop kick he's going to be dealing with.
All right.
Gav is basically going to charge at him and give him a pair of size 13s.
All right. So I will give you guys another +2 unkept on the attack roll when you guys roll that, because Gav is primarily going all in on that. What is Honorine up to?
Can she tell that Lady in Green has retired from the fight? Like,
She will be able to after this. I want to know what Rune is saying particularly.
I do too. However, realizing that Runa is no longer having to face this woman by herself, essentially, Honorine is going to kind of shout to her like, I'm going with them. I'll be back as soon as I can. And she's going to race after Heinzel and Upman, and she's going to go check out what Sneaky McSneakface is doing, because he didn't come down with them, and that's a little sus.
Okay. So let's cut back to Runa. You've just gotten a 51 on the resolve roll. Totally channeled your mom's command voice in the middle of a raging storm. What are you saying to her?
You may be strong, but if you don't back down from this fight, you will not be leaving it. And she's like, just remembering the kind of look that her mom would have when she was bringing down ships with her lightning. And she's just sparking and walking towards her with vested rage and confidence.
This is an unrelated thing that I'm rolling. I just want to see. Yeah, so I just want to, like, there's just a little moment in all of the fighting where you kind of see, like, Posen has her sword drawn and she's trying to like get back into this room, but she, like, during the kind of shouting and intimidation of the lady, you see her look across the water and takes note of it. She sees it happening. Does that make sense? And that was all that was, to see if Posen caught it. The woman, she backpedals onto the bridge. And you see her hand just like disappears like inside of her coat for a moment. And she throws something at the ground near the stone, like where the stone and the bridge itself meets. And you see there's like a mist that like immediately begins to come out of a glass vial which had broken. It's not like smoke bomb, like you can still see where she like dives into the water and is already swimming away at like the incredible speed that you saw before. But it's going to be Runa's choice. Is she trying to cross through that smoke or leaving it where it is?
No, she got what she wanted.
Lightning the water! Lightning the water!
Oh yeah!
I was going to say hit the water.
There's a Cathrinia in the water.
Never mind.
Not that far away.
No, but that,
Just saying,
the
there is a
water's
Cathrinia in
connected.
the water.
So I'm not gonna do that. I don't want to
Um,
hurt Cathrinia.
Would have been fine if she was a blue dragon.
This is crazy.
Okay. I will
If she was out of the water, she definitely.
do give
would
me
have
a wits and keen senses real quick, because you're not going to know what the smell of this thing is, but I want you to be able to know if you can remember it in the future if you smell it again.
done. Okay.
Because it's going to be distinct.
I don't think I have anything I can add to this.
Okay, so I am removing Honorine from this fight, but I'm also removing the lady in green.
So let's see how good I can do on a 2K2. 21. So not
Okay.
bad.
Okay. The first thought that comes to your mind is like honeysuckle, like from the flowers. And that's the most distinctive smell that you get out of it. As far as what it actually does, the only thing that you know is that it actually sort of smells like Upman. Like when you got close to him and like all of his wounds and stuff like that, but he wasn't reacting. You think you could smell the same thing on him.
Oh. Just trying to pull a fast one.
Okay. So, all right.
Am I too far away to catch this smell too? Can I roll too?
Since you're leaving out of the door, I think it's going to be, I think you're just going to be too far away from it. So like like the door is back here and she did it over here. And I was assuming that Runa was approaching her the entire time as she did it.
Yes.
So
even though it's on Upman too?
You can smell it on Upman. I will give that part of it to you.
Okay.
That you can smell that there's something unusual on him. Heinzel is trying to carry him.
Okay.
So what I want from Honorine is a finesse and stealth roll. So the stealth is going to be covered under either criminal or hunter or anything that you have that is relevant to moving quietly.
Commoner?
Uh,
Noble?
Noble is definitely a not.
Eavesdropping? Court gossip? Hello?
That isn't usually done by actually moving quietly. It's just being inconspicuous. But so just give me the raw finesse roll. And then so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll the full attack roll now. So
Oh my gosh. Wow.
okay. So all right. So they have a 215 on their attack roll. Who's rolling the defense?
Not me.
I can if you guys want again.
Okay.
Is it the same?
No, because Henri left.
Oh, right.
So so your defense roll is now 33 plus 38. It's still pretty badass though. You guys have some powerhouses on your side. So it's gonna be 77, keep 31.
Oh, that's not bad. $309.
All right. So all right. So now who's rolling y'all's attack roll?
Sure.
Is it Lenigan? Go ahead. Okay, so your attack roll is going to be 67, keep 33.
Is that including the +2 for description?
No, it is not. So it's
Okay.
going to be 71, keep 33.
All right, I'm doing soak.
Oh, okay. So 71. I'll just stick with it. All right. So 71, keep 33.
Mm-hmm.
Tree fitting again, baby.
Jesus Christ.
A triple explosion.
Let's
2
go.
doubles.
There's a 33 in there. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
Damn.
That's a triple explodey.
Does that include luck die?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think that does. No.
Yeah.
Let's do that next time.
Okay. I don't think we need an episode. I kind of like the tree fitty. I'm really feeling tree fitty right
Getting
now.
350 twice is crazy.
Like
Yep.
right on the dot. That's awesome.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and their defense suffers because they just lost.
They just
Green
lost
Lady.
6. Yeah, they lost an 11 keep 6 of of defense.
Ooh.
So
I did the one thing I knew I could do in that situation.
that was very well done.
Thank you. I'm glad I did it.
$205. So that is 145 points of difference.
So 5 for every 5.
That's 29.
Keep 29.
So who wants to? So Gav, why don't you roll their damage? Or no, that's 29 dice of damage. Yeah, so just roll 29, keep 29. And I
Okay.
will roll the soak.
192.
Okay, so
82.
that's 52, and I'm assessing a dramatic wound for every 5, so that's 10 dramatic wounds that are spread amongst their numbers.
Damn. Oof.
The gunpowder is scary, but we went in with hand weapons against a fucking Verschlingen. You really think these dudes with some pointy sticks and burn dust are going to intimidate us? Nah.
Burn dust.
Burn dust.
Okay, so that is 5/6 of their fighting forces that is like seriously wounded at this point. And okay, so now let's go back to, we have the sort of story elements that Rosa she had like a clear line of sight on like the lady in green, and she had seen Louis Claude before, his unique sort of like portrait style, his portrait style arcana, and hers is very similar. There is like an actual like frame around it, and she can see the woman herself is like taking the form of the arcana. I don't know if you can actually see my the form that she sees inside of the portrait frame does not match the physical woman who's standing there. Instead, what she sees, and I'm gonna just gonna blow this up so you can see the face. She looks to be like in her like mid 40s. Her features are, they're not clear as to whether they're like Avalon or Vendel. She's got a number of like different characteristics that could be from multiple countries, and even without her shape-shifting abilities or whatever it is she's doing, she just like looks like she could blend in very easily. She's not a woman who would stand out for being attractive. But what is most remarkable is that like as you're looking at her arcana, the picture inside of the portrait turns and looks at you.
I don't like things that can look back.
I've
learned that that's a bad thing.
I don't like
It's
that.
a bad sign. No bueno.
Yeah. And I'm watching her leave.
She jumps into the water. and she's swimming away at like like aquatic animal speeds.
Yeah, okay. This is raising all sorts of alarms for Rosa about Louis Claude now. Okay, yeah.
Is she swimming north or is she swimming down to the sewer monster section?
She's swimming north. She's like, yeah, she's not going to swim by the dragon. This entire like northern part, these are waterways that continue northwards towards the river. So she's effectively swimming straight towards the river through like water coming in her direction. She's going upstream at like speeds faster than you could run.
Yeah, no, no. Okay. So we know she's not human.
Not a pod person.
Not a pod person, but
Not right.
also not human.
I mean, we
kind
don't
of
know.
human?
We've kind of assumed she's Fae if she's the same as Arthur's Yandir stalker.
But you said Louis Claude has the same arcana, right?
His was frozen. His
Yeah.
didn't move. It
But
was
hers at least hers moves, but it was this very similar in style.
yes. I need to
Yeah.
look up something real quick. If you'll give me just a minute.
Oh yeah.
Well, and remember too, Rosa, Louis Claude told us the story of like his sort of immortality and stuff. So it seems like I feel like Rosa is educated enough. Like, I don't know. It seems like she's probably starting to realize that there's more than just like human and not human. Like she's starting to. I feel like
there's more to it, but in her mind right now she's going, okay, so these are similar. And at least they're not pod person.
They're special edition arcana.
But they're also different. And she doesn't
They're
know
shinies.
They're like a founder badge.
polychrome.
Yeah.
Or like a hype train emote thing. Like
I'm completely missing the connection there.
And
Also, she is an inverted moon.
I'm going to steal the moon.
The Constitution.
And in
That
this case,
seal
what it looks like is a woman that is like she has her legs sort of like hooked around the crescent of a moon and is hanging upside down from it like an acrobat. So, does that give you a fair amount of information for your role?
So if she's upside down, that means she's attentive but not perceptive, right?
So I had said before, and I don't know if you remember, but there are a separate series of arcanas for villains.
Yep.
And that what is true for hero is not necessarily, and the majority of the people she meets fall into like the heroic or at least not villainous like arcana and hubris. So
yeah. I'm trying to Rose is trying to understand effectively.
Yeah.
Through her own lens. Okay. So yeah, she's she's leaving, there's nothing I can do.
Give me a roll with your wits and your mastery level, keeping your wits for your sortie.
19. Did not roll well.
Actually, I just sorry. The malleability of an arcana you've seen before at times, like you've seen how Heinzel's looked shattered and he had once been something. The fact that her arcana seemed almost self-aware
Yeah.
is probably like indicative of whatever is going on. Does that make sense? It's probably more important than her actual card itself. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And that is the key difference in that, like, Louis Claude was definitely not self-aware in that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But she's leaving.
Yes.
Okay. So then my next person is Margot.
That's going to be the next round.
Yep.
So we're going to move over to Hans real quick. Hans, you are still kind of locked in a battle with this thing.
Yeah.
Which so far has been, even. So I'm going to go ahead and roll its attack again, and you can do the defense. That defense was,
This was 13-6, right?
yes,
Plus 15.
yes,
Those
because
are my
all of your guys
guys.
are,
They're also alive. Yay.
Bison said in the chat, it wasn't self-aware, but it was fabulous. That's true, and that is more important as an arcana.
Yeah.
Fabulous arcanas.
It is very true.
Okay.
That was attack?
Sorry, his attack was a 25, I believe.
Okay, 25.
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn.
So you're keeping its tentacles at bay, very expertly. Like between you and like the other men, it's got like 6 tentacles, and like one tentacle to a man is not that hard to keep track of. It'll curl around somebody's boot, and then somebody quickly is like, plunging a knife into the tentacle and is letting go. It seems very irritated at this point that, it's got all of these potential snackable people, and it's not being very easy for it to get a snack.
Yeah. Right. Attack with the help of my guys. Let's see here. Counterattack. I think we said that was 8-3.
Mhm.
That's 35.
Okay.
The same as I got last time?
I think you just got a really good roll last time.
But 36 last time. It was almost the same.
And then you add 15 to that, right?
Oh, add 15 to that as well. Okay, that's
Yeah, because
50 then.
brute squads are great.
Okay, so still
Oh,
5 over.
So 5. So that's still 1k1. And I think it had
Still-
just taken
still
flesh
get
wounds last
advantage.
time.
Yeah, I think it was just flesh wounds previously. So 2.
Okay. It keeps getting stabbed. It does not enjoy.
Very angry about the stabbing.
Okay. And I believe it's still fine.
Yeah. I would say so.
So it hasn't taken a dramatic wound yet, is the important thing.
Yeah. 35 versus 2.
But its soak is now something like 30 some odd. Because the first one was like what, 15?
Well, it's got a 15 on the first one and 2 on this one, so 19 total.
Yeah.
Right?
Or it's
Yeah,
17
yeah.
then.
Yeah.
It was 15 on the
Or
first one.
yeah, 15.
Yeah.
15 and 2, so 17 total. So it's got 17 flesh wounds. All right.
Making progress.
Okay. So in the interest of being able to do so, let me cut over to Honorine and what she goes above. She as she comes upstairs, she's kind of like running full speed towards, or she comes out, and Heinzel is not sure where to like take him or like put him or whatnot, but you see the Draken's Tooth had been evacuated, right? But the place where Hilgrund had been set, and his guardsmen are outside looking a little puzzled. But the doors to the Draken's Tooth are open once again, and there's no sight of Hilgrund.
What do you mean the doors are open? Like
Like they're ajar. Like
I mean, okay, so is that a sign that somebody went back in? Because when you're evacuating, you're not closing the door behind you necessarily.
She doesn't have a clear answer. She didn't see
Okay.
who was leaving, if they closed the door behind them, you know. Also, most doors at this time are not like click locks
Yeah,
that'll
yeah.
automatically remain closed. It's usually a matter of, you know, binding a string or something like that.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so they're standing near the Draken's Tooth, though, right? The guards?
Yeah, and like they're definitely looking at it and looking a little puzzled. Like, if you want to make a roll to read the situation, you can, or if you just want to have her charge in, that's fine too. They
Um,
definitely caught sight of her coming up, though.
with a 3? I would hope so.
Yeah, I'm not making
Um,
him roll.
thanks. Um, so she is running. Like, she's got her skirt, like, in her arm, like, gathered in over her arm, like they can probably see ankle, probably calf, you know, like
Bamboo.
and so she's hurrying back to the Draken's Tooth, and she's like, is everyone out? Is everyone out? Like, get away from there. Get away.
Yeah, and uh, like the guards kind of like as she's asking if everybody's out, one of them shakes his head. He says, "The prince went back in."
The prince went.
So she can
Um,
engage in a dialogue with the guards, or she can go in on her action.
she definitely was. My response right there was like pretty much exactly what
Okay.
the prince went, and she's like and like running in. She hasn't had a like she didn't even really have a chance to like direct Heinzel or anything. She's kind of ditched him, unfortunately.
Okay. He's near some guards.
He's
And
good. He's fine.
okay. Um, so I'm going to give you one more stealth roll. This time as you're coming into the building. Um, to go without notice if that's your intent. Otherwise, Hilgran is going to be aware of you coming in.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
Where is Whiskey?
Uh,
Was Whiskey
Zucker took him.
evacuated?
Zucker took him.
Okay. Her. You made
Her.
Whiskey a her,
Sorry.
and now she's
Sorry.
a her in my head.
Sorry. Zucker evacuated her.
I mean, I don't know that she's particularly trying to be super stealthy because she's not good at it. But 12.
Okay.
She's maybe a little bit quieter, or maybe there's a whole bunch going on that like distracts. I don't know. No
Well,
puppy left
it's very
behind.
possible that he might roll poorly, so.
Yeah, maybe he'll get a 3. Who does that?
Okay, so when you had last seen Hilgrun, he looked as like he's a man who looks perpetually ill, and he looked extremely fraught, like he looked like close to death's door kind of thing, right? Um, he's fully standing upright without any assistance. He's not like leaning on his cane at the moment, but you've seen him walk without it. Does that make sense? So that's not necessarily completely indicative. It's usually like a length of time thing. Um, uh,
And she's too excited. She comes in yelling like, "You, Koenig, you have to get out."
um,
Not stealthy at all, and not trying to be.
he lifts a pistol and levels it at her. Says, "Where's the altar?
The what?
Take me to the altar now."
I don't know what you're talking about.
He cocks the gun.
Koenig, I don't know.
Take me to the altar now.
What altar?
Says the Blackwood altar. I felt it here.
She like touches her neckline.
Go ahead and I want you to make a wits and noble roll for deception.
You would think I'd have this memorized by now. I don't.
You do get the benefit of your appearance, by the way.
Yay. 30.
Okay. He has like there's a gleam in his eye that you wouldn't call entirely sane. But there is a certainty in it. And he is certain, for whatever reason, that Honorine knows that it is here and that it is here.
Yeah, it was sort of the touch was sort of reflexive. Like, she is not exactly about to do more than that with her shard. She's going to. She's still got her. She's got one hand up. She's touching her neckline, and she sees sort of the gleam of fervor of what's it called, zeal, kind of in his face.
I was going to
At
say
least
insanity.
insanity, but I mean, same diff, zeal, insanity.
You got the crazy eyes.
She sees the crazy eyes, the sort of feverish, because I assume it's some sort of zeal, or something, and she kind of puts both of her hands up, and she's like, I think I know what you're talking about. I'll help you look, but I don't know where it is.
You're lying to me.
I will.
You know exactly where it is.
I
Now
will
take
help
me
you
to
look.
it.
I will help you look. Is he uncocking? Is he like uncocking the gun at all?
Nope.
Okay. Then she's going to kind of straighten, and she's going to stare him straight in the eyes. And it's not still at the bear house, and she gave it to Hans for safekeeping.
That's what I remember. I was hoping I was wrong.
Yeah, no. She's going to stare straight at him. Put her hands down and start moving like sideways behind the bar, like not at him. She's like a frightened animal. She's trying to be very like frightened animal friendly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna cut back to everybody else.
Yeah, good with that.
Bison's making threats in chat. I love it. Okay. So we are back down below. The forges here are like beaten up. These are veteran soldiers who have taken serious wounds. Most of their sort of like fighting force has been cut down. And things are in like a disarray. Like Posen and Seeker and Logan and Arthur, like everybody's fighting. Margot has retreated inside of the building to where the barrel is. And for those who are following inside, 4 of the 8 pillars in here already have barrels under them. Already have barrels that are like ready and primed to explode. So if even one of them goes off, half the building is coming down. Does that make sense? And uh, I'm going to let everybody that's up there make a wits roll to kind of realize what's going on before this next round of combat.
Just straight wits.
Mm-hmm.
No keen senses. I've got keen sense.
Nope, this is more about, I would actually allow a command skill here to realize the strategy at play, but Hans is not there to make this roll.
I have one dot in strategy. Can I use it?
Yes, you may.
I only have a dot in enforcer. Sad panda. All right. $24, still not bad.
Also
3 dice.
24. Same dice, actually.
Anybody else rolling that I'm waiting for? Rosa or Runa, are you guys rolling? You're welcome to roll. You don't have to have the skill. This is just sort of like a putting together the moment of like
Well,
what
can
Margot's
they-
intentions are.
I'm not trying to like flub on anybody, but can they even see into the room? It looks like the room is sealed off behind walls.
So there's
except for
a
one-
door, and it's about that there are multiple people converging on one spot.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's kind of like a general. What was
Yeah.
that from?
I got a 57 from 2-on-1.
I'm
Enough
giving
to
you a
upgrade.
fist bump, but also isn't that explosion bad?
That's
No,
what
No,
not,
it's a
not when
triple.
she's
Dramatic.
sighting. She,
Only for
not
magic.
when she's sighting, but when she's actually like actively manipulating. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do is that Len and Gav, you both have like a definite kind of like bad feeling. And it's Rosa who looks and she sees the moment that like Eric Seeger, Logan Seeger, and Posen are about to chase Margot into the room with the explosives. She had lost the ability to take out all of the Iron Princes, but you understand with like just a look into her eye that like she would trade her life for any one of them. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay.
Like,
And the
and so
miner's in the
she's
way.
backing up and she's looking frightened, you know what I'm saying? And because she's trying to draw them in, because she will trade her life without hesitation to take out any one of them, and there are about to be 3 coming in. So I'm gonna give you guys, we're gonna like it's gonna break from normal combat, and I will give Rosa an action, and then everybody else can like take actions on the basis of that, because she can see in a moment that like the moment they're past the threshold and she thinks she has a better than 50% chance of killing them, she will light one of the barrels.
Which will send the whole place up in flames.
I mean, at least half of it's going to collapse, and this close to it, it's a good chance of killing at least one of them.
Yeah.
I know what Gav wants to do. If he's able.
It's just I'm gonna have like
Yeah, I know,
I'm leaving it
I
as
just-
like Gav and Len have like a less perfect sense. Rosa is like she can see a black strand starting to form in Margot's chest, and like slowly uncurling like a serpent sliding out of her. She is going to die. Whether others do or not is not yet certain.
She wants to yell, just basically everyone evacuate. Just everyone get out. But the problem is she doesn't think any of the Iron Princes are going to believe her.
Yell, it's a trap. Fully Akbar this. Sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah.
She's the bait.
We need to come back to people when we're giving them
oh my god. Because all she can think is she wants to die.
What if you just yell that?
Yeah, she'll. Because where's she again, comparatively?
Right in front of the doors.
Yeah, she can
She's
see.
just inside of the doors. So like she has a line of sight where she could shoot at a barrel.
Yeah.
Or something, but she's trying to convince the others to like come in. Does that make sense? And she's a child of performers. She has the fear and the terror like down, but her eyes are cold steel.
Yeah. So that's how.
She never expected to survive any of this.
Yeah, so Rose is just going to yell, she wants to die, everyone leave. Like, everyone run.
Okay. So, Runa is further back. She's still kind of trapped by the mist, which is like dissipating quickly. But she has a fairly clear sight to where, but I don't think her lightning quite reaches that far, right? Um, uh,
Um,
and with the shout, Draken Cathernia kind of is naturally like pulling back.
Frozen.
You're trying. No, she's
No,
not.
just Drakenia grabbing pose, and you're coming with me.
No, she's still like she's a little too instinctive at this point. She's still balancing all the new feelings of being a big ass dragon. So,
Well, that's fair.
she's not making the most strategic decisions. So, Gav and Len, what are you guys doing in this
as
moment?
soon,
Len is. Go ahead.
never mind.
No, at Runa too, because you do have an action, so you can shout something, you can blast something. Absolutely.
I was gonna say if the mist had dissipated, she was gonna like run across the bridge and like come onto like the stone over here and yell. But if the mist is still there, she doesn't know what it does, but she smells it on Upman, and she doesn't want to be subdued in any way.
The mist is still there.
Okay.
It's lingering for it's gonna linger for a few like rounds effectively.
So I'd assume that this has all happened really fast, so she may still be sparking. I'm hoping this helps. And she's just gonna yell, still like kind of embodying her mom. Just go, no one go in there. You will die.
Len is pretty much immediate. As soon as he hears it, he gets it. He knows he's talked up and he knows the depths of this woman's conviction. So he's going to pivot and just use his boar spear like a crossing guard or something, just not stabbing, but like pushing the prince's back.
Clothesline!
Thankfully, not that vicious, but maybe if he needs to. But he's like, he will kill
You-
herself to take you all with her. Go.
Who is your priority to try to make sure that they're safe? Logan, Eric, or Fauner?
I'm assuming Arthur is with Logan and just picks up Logan and takes him because Logan isn't gonna really be able to resist that. So
I'm gonna roll a die, and if it's a 6 or higher, Arthur happens to be close enough at the moment that he is within arm's reach to do that. And if he's not, it's just a matter of how the fighting was going. Does that make sense? It wasn't like he was abandoning him; it was just like somebody else came at the wrong direction. He's not close enough.
Well, then his focus is Logan, especially, but they should have been able to see how he fights. He's not some know nothing. He's on the council, so he's speaking with his full authority and knowledge that this woman will give her own life just for the chance to kill one or all of them, and this is the time. And he's just trying to back out, go get the squirt bottle. Bad Iron Princess.
Okay.
Speaking of squirt bottle, okay, this is going entirely into dirty fighting. What Gav wants to do is basically throw a bunch of water at Margot. The idea is that wet powder doesn't burn.
So I appreciate the idea, but there's already powder spread all over the floor inside of the place because they
She
have been
can't
planning to
fire-
have the powder burn between barrels.
Well,
Okay,
no,
I thought she had a pistol. The way you
she
the way you
does.
described it earlier, she had a pistol.
She does.
It's a slow burn fuse. All the powder is in the barrel of the gun. You would have to get water like squirted directly down the barrel to get it.
Well, what I'm saying is like there's also like there's powder on the ground. Like they were doing this as they went to try to blow the whole thing and make sure that there was a way. So like one splash of water won't necessarily stop the explosion. So here's the thing. I will give you a drama die that Gav can think that he is close enough to get to her and take her down before she gets a shot off.
He is
but
reckless.
is going to be a height. I will give you a drama die to go for it. And and I will give you the roll for it. But I will warn you that if it goes wrong, the explosion is going off.
Yeah, he's gonna do it. And so the drama die, does that include me invoking my Arcana?
You get that drama die for free.
Okay. Can I use another one?
You absolutely you can use every drama die you have.
All right. Because this is absolutely the stupidest thing that Gav has ever done, and he fought a Verschlingen with a meat hook. Yeah, I'm gonna use two Arcana or two drama die plus the freebie. I am rolling dirty fighting. Or am I rolling? I guess actually no, wrestling.
Her defense is a 4, so her target number is 25. To get her in the grapple, here's what I'm going to say. If you hit a 40 on this roll, you will get it before she can pull a trigger.
Okay. So that's wrestling. Keep finesse. Free drama die. Using 2 more. That is 9, keep 6. Need to get a 40. Oops. 2 of them fell off. 6. All right, and then there were 2 10s. Give me that. I did. Oh, fucking A, I got it. It was like 50 some.
Okay.
So, yeah, Gav basically scoops her up. Big bear hug.
Yeah, it's sort of a very desperate. It is an impressive degree of determination that when faced with a charging man the size of Gav and a gun in her hand, she does not raise it to point at Gav. Not even in reflex. Does that make sense? It's still just like a kind of like steel moment of determination. She grips the barrel, her hand tightens on the trigger, and you manage to like get it, lift her, and come down on her with like the barrel and the gun like pinned and like his hand locked into it so that the camera can't come down. Um,
That Cerneth finger. Click.
um, uh,
Not today, Fraulein.
um,
We need to talk.
the and she just there's like a moment's hesitation, and then she just like um run to everyone else, and you see the rest of the combatants start to like break in every direction. Does that make sense? Like it's probably more about like evading arrest than like because something's about to go off. She's at least making the fact that she's probably going to swing for this, give them the chance that they might be able to get away. Um, you uh, Len, you are wet, and you are wet because, like, as you were moving to like protect Logan, so was Eric. He turned and fully like tackled his child and caught you up with it, and all 3 of you went into the water. um,
I'm not calling you daddy.
but it's a full like like splashdown.
Ew, the
Just
green water.
no, the blue water. They're on the north side.
Eric is
They're
on
in
the
like
north side?
the
We
yeah,
just
this is on
haven't
the north
updated
side.
the map.
Oh, okay. I was very confused. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the
Yeah,
interruption.
for whatever reason I can't drag any of the tokens anymore, and I didn't like think to check it beforehand. I don't want to try troubleshooting in the middle of the game, so they're all kind of
currently
around
2
this
on our
like
means.
northern connection. Um, so uh Rosa, you see the black strand is still on her, but now it's running off to some place that doesn't seem to affect anybody that's here. Does that make sense? You can see that death is on her. And she
Yeah,
like
me.
um uh uh and Posen kind of she comes in the room behind. Um, assessing everything that's around. She didn't flinch, she didn't fall back at like you're all gonna die. Um, the the moment is past, but nobody is aware of the danger that Honorine is up above, so I'm not gonna let anybody interrupt that just yet. Okay, so we're going to cut over to her. There's, some people are surrendering, some people are. The miner, by the way, the barrel, he didn't get the chance to run. There's Ettore is there with like a blade to his neck, and he's like, I was forced into all of this. I have nothing to do with this Relaskier.
Oh, really, really
What a
He's a
quick.
really
piece
bad
of
liar.
shit.
Like nobody believes it.
I didn't
Um,
do nothing. I'm innocent.
they
I'm
forced me.
innocent.
Yep. I do have
Um,
one question. I'm not trying to interrupt the Honorine thing, but did Otto stay with Honorine?
No.
Because I.
um,
Oh, okay.
No, it's with Runa. Unless Otto climbed back onto Honorine for some reason,
no,
but
he's with Runa.
Did
she definitely was not consenting to that.
Okay, fair enough.
Otto stay on Runa through all of the lightning
Yeah, he's not happy about it, but I mean, he's
crackling on her body? Like it's all on her body. He's just on her head.
No, he's like on a shoulder, and he's like remarkably close to like where her neck has like the Vilskap rune like sparkling and
Oh,
crackling,
that's
and he's just
Omen.
kind of shifting away from.
The one on her neck is Omen.
That's
I'm
fine.
picturing
He's just
him with like a poofy, like
Poofy
like a
spider
cat.
hair.
yeah, he's definitely can't wait to be back on Mom. um,
As soon as Runa gets close to Rosa, Otto's gonna make the little uppies arms.
He's not gonna want Auntie Runa to spider sit him
I
ever
think the
again.
moment he's within like 10 feet of Rosa, he's just fully like leaping onto her.
Aww. He misses.
Sorry, Otto.
All right. You do not shoot lightning. So up above, Honorine has been kind of slowly circling, and a quick glance around the Dragon's Tooth can show that in the brief time that they've been gone, he has already like been ransacking the place in search of the altar. Um, and the gun is leveled. His eyes are gone. Like I mean, they're there, but like whoever Heelgrund was as a person is fully invested in this moment. Says, "Take me to it." Yeah.
Um. She's keeping her hands up, and she's like, okay. And she's gonna try to keep him, she's gonna try to get him monologuing. So she's like, okay, Koenig. And so he's ransacked the bar area, right?
Mm-hmm. No, well, not just like he doesn't seem to be particularly interested in the bar. He's like been opening cabinets. He's like everything that could be like nothing about the bar or the wine or the drinks or anything seems at all of interest to him. He was in here, started his search here, and realizes like his time is extremely limited. So
Right. So my question was specifically like the area that we're in is, I assume, like the main floor where there is a bar, right?
yes.
Okay. So that's the area that he's ransacked, is like the seating area, the bar, that kind of stuff. And
Yes.
so this place that we're in, does it have a second floor? What does it have to it?
So it has the basement on the first floor and a second floor. The second floor is largely like a barracks for sleeping. It's mostly like cots and beds and stuff like that, so that guards can spend overnight. They've got their personal chests, but everything of sort of consequence to the operation of it as a guardhouse is on this main floor.
And so she's going to go, I don't know how many bars she's actually been into, but she probably knows there's going to be a manager's office somewhere, or like something like that, somewhere where there would be a safe. Is that something that is fair to assume?
There would be a chest that would be presumably locked, but not necessarily a safe.
Okay. So she's going to go to wherever it looks like they keep the valuables. And while she's doing that, she's going to mention to him, like, Blackwood is cursed. Any carving, you're going to touch it and you're going to die, Koenig.
He says, its scent is all over you. You wear it around your neck. Don't preach superstition to me.
Only because I grew up in the area, I know what it can do. I grew up in the Black
As do
Forest.
I.
I know you don't want to die, and I know you don't want a curse on you.
He says, have you met him? Have you bartered with him?
She's just gonna kind of like shake her head, like, what the fuck?
He says, I will have my birthright, and he can give it to me.
What are you talking about?
Um,
And she's
and
going to move to like whatever's lot. Like she's acting as if she's gonna check this thing and be like, is it here? I don't know.
And
I hope it's not there.
he gestures to the chest. He points his gun down at it. And he says, open it.
Answer me. She's
Open
moving
it.
to open it, but she's also, answer me.
Don't have the key.
She's gonna, I mean, there's a lock, so she's going to kind of move away from it for a second and mention, like, I don't have the key, and gesture at the lock. Like, she'll tug at it a couple times, but then be like, hello.
You see he like leans against the desk for a moment. I want a quick like wits and noble roll, just like assessment of him.
Okay, and I am not rolling the virtual dice anymore. I've switched to physical dice, just FYI.
The 4s and the 8s and the 7s.
Help, I have to think for a second. Oh, I didn't roll enough dice. 1 second. I'm not as good at this as Bison is. Okay, so we've got $38. Wait, that's not right. 26. I gave you all my dice instead of just my kept dice.
He's moving to pull a second pistol out, but the thing that you can see is that he is sort of at the limit of his ability to summon his stamina. Does that make sense? He's leaning against the desk because he's worried his legs are about to give out from under him.
Okay.
And he draws a second pistol from within his coat.
Feed.
He still has the one trained on her.
Feed
Okay, what are you feeding?
his as soon as he fires the gun. She's gonna
Okay,
feed it.
okay. Um, uh, I don't think there's even an attack roll for that, right?
No.
So what level of feed does she have?
3.
Okay. Um, so what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you just roll 3k3 damage on him of just like the fire kind of like bursting back.
Are you kidding me right now? 15.
This is just a random check of something.
Oh, sure. Hopefully the black powder in the gun ignites, given everything.
He's gonna take a dramatic wound from the flame. Um, and you see like the fire like burns back, it like crawls up his arm. It's still like a quick flash, it hasn't like caught enough to like continue burning. Um, but there's like plenty of other things in the room that like candles and that sort of thing, like the typical lighting and whatnot that she could potentially use as a weapon. But there was definitely a moment where she reached out a hand and like as he was aiming, like the flames came at his face like a claw. Does that make sense?
Does she
And like
have to like
scratch.
look at him, or like can she do it stealthily?
I will let you. I will let you make a wits and mastery roll to make it seem like purely an accidental thing. You have to beat his wits, which is a 4 times 5 plus 5, which is a target number 25.
Um, and so my mastery right now is 2, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so my wits is 4, so I'm rolling 6, keep 2.
No, you're keeping your wits.
Right. My wits is a 4. So am I rolling 6, keep 2, mastery 2, wits
You're
4?
rolling 6, keep 4
Oh, 6, keep
because
4.
the 2 are
Yeah.
your unkept dice.
Okay, cool. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go back to rolling the digital dice in a second. I feel really bad for like having to do all of this.
That's
now.
fine.
Bison makes it look easy, so I'm like, I'll just do what Bison does.
I learned to add up to 20 real quick.
Okay, so we have 13. 31.
Okay, that'll do it.
So I mean, it looks like a claw, but it doesn't look like Honoring's claw.
Well, and like he doesn't have enough, like it's enough fire and smoke in his face that he just like feels like it's a misfire. But Honoring can see like the slashes that look like claw marks but are burn shaped or but are burns like across the side of his face. The bullet the other gun doesn't go off, like it doesn't get ignited enough. That was what my random roll was like, if his hands were close enough for the flame to catch that as well. um and the bullet does go wide, it doesn't go through the lock. And he just sort of like staggers back. He's injured. He's reeling from like the explosiveness of it and like the confined space. He has the gun trained on Honorine, and at the moment, like you can tell he's caught between like, do I shoot her? Was that an attack? I don't know what's going on. He's reeling and he's off balance at the moment. So I'm not going to say what he's going to choose to do. He's a little too unpredictable right now for Honorine to be able to say for certain.
Are we going to switch back there, or are we going to keep going?
I feel like everything that's happening below is going to be about kind of like arrests. Gav has managed to detain Margot. Others are getting chased down. It's kind of people checking in on each other. Hans, so that we can kind of get out of combat. What I'm going to have happen is like, he's fighting, fending things off. He's keeping his men alive. He hasn't been injured. And like right as, like more of the tentacles are starting to wrap, a very angry dragon lands on the back of the thing and starts like putting teeth into it and ripping and tearing. And it sort of immediately like ducks under the water and you can see like bubbles going off, and Drakinia immediately makes a face of, I very much regret having done that.
Wait, what did she tear into? I missed it.
The tentacle monster.
Oh,
But she had
no.
to dive into the brown water to do it. And she has many regrets.
I'm just seeing a cat with tape on its feet. Just
It's like, have you ever seen like the video where the cat bites the soap? And it's like,
Yeah, and then he goes,
like angry hiss and everything.
Or
That
when
is
they
that is
get
like a draconic face
brain
that she is
freeze.
making right now.
yeah.
But like, the thing is dissipating. There's a moment where like Hans is face to face with a Draken instead, which doesn't necessarily seem like much of an improvement. And I don't think he was there for the transformation. But like he hears the Draken speaking and saying, "Bleh, bleh, bleh," which seems very unanimal. And all of his men have like weapons trained on the Draken at the moment.
He sees a big dragon land. It's like, okay, we're out of here. He gives the signal to
Fall
get
back.
the hell out.
Fall
Yeah,
back.
yeah. Get
we
out
getting
of
paid
here.
enough
We're
for this,
running.
boys.
No. Hell, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
And you're the captain. You're the guard captain.
Dragon? Hell no.
Um,
We're running.
Poor dragon.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we're heading topside. that's enough of that.
All right.
Okay.
So what is Honorine doing up above? Is she running? Is she trying to seize the last gun? Is she just attacking him?
She's kind of scuttling out of the way, or trying to like move out of the way of like the gun's path. And kind of squealing like, oh my gosh, you just blew up. And kind of being like, Connie, we have to go. We don't have time for this.
There is a resolution that sort of like passes over his face as he raises the gun and he is like taking aim at it towards her. And in a certainty that like this time he intends to pull the trigger. He says, "The center must hold." And Honorine hears a whisper that is not of the Scatman. It's a different voice entirely. And so, quick question: does she speak Vestan?
No. She speaks Eisen.
Okay. What she hears is "Het centrum is rot." And then she sees like gnarled, weathered fingers reach like from the shadows of the room and brush across the side of Hilgrim's neck. And like Hilgrim seems not to see it, or feel it or react to it. And for just a moment over his shoulder, you can see an old man in a hood with a white beard that seems to reach all the way down over like a swollen belly. He leans heavily on a staff, and Hilgrim just seems completely unaware of his presence. And you watch Hilgrim kind of blink, and the white kind of the mark of the wasting disease that he had, it begins to puff and pus like a blister beginning to swell. And the same thing happens on his arm and on his leg, and you see him kind of like look down at himself. His mouth opens, and you see like blood and pus runs from it, in his nose and his eyes and his ears. Um, and he like stumbles forward. He catches part of the desk as he does so, and like you see, like just regular wood rips the skin like if you were cutting open a blister. And green white ooze just splashes across the carpet, across the wood. And he seems to be like a water balloon deflating. Does that make sense? Like everything is coming out of him. It is the rankest thing that you have ever smelled.
I had a question, but I'm gonna need a moment.
Are you okay?
This segment brought to you by the Chaos God Nurgle.
Yeah, I'm okay. I just
Holy fuck, he's here.
so the center must hold sounds familiar, and I'm asking like,
It's the
OOC, have
family
I?
motto of the Heelgrens. He said it before when he was meeting with her.
Okay.
He was resolving himself to do what had to be done. He was saying it as like this is a necessity.
Okay. And the man has Honorine actually seen that guy before?
The only person who's ever seen him is Runa.
Okay. Okay, so Honorine,
She has described him.
old guy, white hair? Sure, great, awesome.
Cloak.
That's half the men in Ison. In Freeburg. So she's
So
gonna
here's my quick question.
flinch back.
When he stumbled forward, when he fell and he hit the desk, were her eyes tracking Heelgrund, or was she keeping her eyes on like the hand and the man?
She is she's staring at the man. She should probably be checking whether she's about to get shot when he lunges, but she's staring at the man like, holy, what the first of all, what did you just say to me? And also, what the fuck? And also, what the fuck? And third, what the fuck?
He turns and begins walking out of the room.
Stop.
He goes through a doorway, and she loses sight of him for a moment.
She's gonna run after him.
She runs around the corner to like the next room, and there's nobody in it.
Okay. All right. Well, back to.
There is on the ground a place where there are footprints. Does that make sense? Like she can, it almost looks like where the carpet has rotted under the touch of his feet, and then it's just gone. Like there's no footprint that follows it.
Okay. So she's gonna go back to Hilgrund to see if he's.
He's
melted.
super dead. He's super dead and still very melted.
Okay.
The look on his face looks like agony you can barely imagine.
Fucking good. Okay, then it's time to GTFO, but she's not headed back to the others.
Okay. So we're good. Tell me broadly where you're going, and then everybody else.
She's gonna go get those books from his room if she can. Actually.
So she's headed to Hilgrund's place?
Yes.
Okay.
While his guards are distracted.
Okay. That's absolutely fine.
We're gonna put him in a sack? Do you want to have a bucket?
Pretty much gonna need a shovel and some sponges at this point.
I'm not touching any of that because like he had a disease and she doesn't know if it's catching.
Um,
I don't think.
the down below, Posen is definitely sort of like looming over Margot. And it's sort of like a counterpoint to like the Seegers like coming up out of the water, there being like the first kind of break in the moment and like gunfire and stuff like that, to realize that there's just a whole wave of emotions that goes across Logan's face as he realized that his father like acted to save his life. Does that make sense? And he's sort of like in the middle of like processing it. And like he just sort of tries to like swim forward and put his arms around him, and Eric kind of like and like pats him, and then just sort of like not a great swimmer grabs the edge and starts to like pull himself up, and then just through sheer force and strength lifts Logan up and over the side, like offers a hand towards Len to get up and out of the water as well.
Len's got a 3 athletics and everything, so Len has no problems. He's like, he thumbs up at the thing and just is like, oh, yep, we're out. All right, so I mean, we keep this ass toned somehow.
And Eric is pulling himself up and out. He is like he took a real bad gunshot wound before everything had happened, and like the whole back of his shirt is pink.
Oh,
And
He took a wound
Runa.
and he went into the ew. Oh
he
god.
No,
went
he
into
went
the
into
clean
the
water.
good
The
water.
clean water.
Oh right. I keep thinking of him still being in the south,
It's
and
not all poop water.
and I'm just like, he's going to have diseases that have not been seen before or since.
And Runa is seeing like Katharinia like coming back to the clean water and submerging herself under it and like and spitting water out.
Yep.
Just-
And then Len's like, Runa, we could use your non-sparky abilities over here.
I'm still stuck via
The-
mist. I can
It's-
only go out right now.
Like the
It's-
mist doesn't let her through.
It's like it's still there, and Drakinia kind of like wades through the water towards her and lowers her head so that like Runa could like climb onto her. They can go around it.
Thank you.
Never-ending
And she's gonna step on.
story.
You just didn't want to step in the formaldehyde cloud.
Yeah, not a fan. The ruined mage. Sorry, that's an upstairs problem.
So Gab has Margot held. What is his intention? Arrest her?
Arrest her.
Okay.
She is the ringleader. She has information, and she will know more about the Selkie bitch, who I am calling that until I have a better name for her.
Green cloak
That's
girl.
absolutely fine.
Or
What is
the
Rosa
other
doing?
one.
Oh, I'll wait until she's not talking to me.
Rosa, you're up.
What are
Oh,
you doing
shit.
during all this?
Did I look at Margot's? No, I looked at Green.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at Rose's, or not.
Mirror.
I'm so tired.
Margot's? Yeah.
Margot's.
The-
5, 6, 7, 8.
Hers is inspirational. Which I can look up which one that belongs to.
She's Star. Okay.
Yeah. Her hubris is completely human and normal. Like so many others that you've seen, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She is not placed in her own arcana.
Yeah. Okay. So she's completely just normal person. Got it. But she just wanted to look at that, and then because you want to make sure not a pod person. And I think that's all she can do at the moment.
Okay. Um, so the Eric Seeger to Logan, he like who gave you permission to go and get so tall and so handsome? And Logan just like he like blushes and he smiles. He just looks like utterly perplexed. Like this is not the greeting that he expected. It's not anything that he expected. Um and like Eric kind of he just like grabs him like by the back of the head and like pulls him forward until their heads are touching and um he smiles at him and Logan just looks like perplexed. Um, and Eric just kind of smiles and he says, all grown up and ready to become an Iron Prince on your own. Says, didn't even need your father for it. Uh, and Logan is like, I never wanted it. I never asked for it. Um,
Best man for the job, then. Len's gonna just like straight out say it. Just best man for the job, then.
um, Posen is like watching a little bit from like the corner of everything, like watching the interaction. Her arms are crossed. She's not saying anything. She does give kind of a nod to Runa as Runa gets closer. There's a little bit of a smile there from like what she saw of like Runa's part in the combat. She clearly approves. Uh, the is also a look over to Falk. Falk has been, he's kind of like been tailing along. He did some of the fighting. He's definitely not in like the same category of fighting as like Posen or Eric. He could like hold his own against one of like the veterans, but like he wasn't cutting through anybody with ease or anything like that. And Posen looks around at everybody. She says, "This group knows how to fight. Friedrich is in safer hands than I thought."
This was still easier than the Verschlingen.
Da.
Uh, Posen smiles and she says, "It's nothing like monster hunting to get the blood pumping."
In the way I
Um,
think this was.
Posen points at Margot and says, uh, "If you want a public trial for this one, so be it. I understand. But I will take it personally if she is not punished for what she has done."
Sounds like a her problem.
We shall leave it to the Iron Prince, da. But for now, she has answers that need to be. She has answers for us.
She nods. She says, "If you need someone to question her, I'm happy to offer my abilities."
I've never been so jealous of somebody in my life.
Gav just sort of like gives an appreciative nod, but not a like yes or no. Kind of a he's going to let everybody else decide.
Yep.
He's not the council.
She says, are there guards available to secure all of these explosives?"
Yeah, let's
Sing, Signore, Hans should be here soon.
Senor Hans, who is she referring to?
Hans!
Oh,
Signore
There
Hans!
are several
That-
Hanses.
that-
Hans Upman too.
Oh, that's
Oh.
right.
yeah.
The one with guards.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the one who's with the guards is who she's referring to.
Yep. Len is well, let me go up the other stairs and this other way and see if there's some guards there we can bring down for now, or if Hans went around that other way.
Yeah, you'll be able to like see Hans coming out from another area and
Okay.
wave him over. Oh, this way doesn't have tentacle monsters. Much better.
Yeah.
Margot is
Get up as
taken
many as
into
possible.
custody. And things are slowly like transitioned up above. Heinzel is fairly nearby, and when he sees people starting to come up, he still has Upman with him. And he is happy to kind of like set him down wherever indicated. Is anybody letting like Posen or Seeger aware that Upman is in the same organization, or is he just like kind of code of not talking about him while he's here? What is Rosa doing?
If Rosa sees him there, she'll say he's with them.
Snitches get stitches, Rosa.
And Upman's a little bitch. So
Snitches get
Len's
stitches,
going to
period.
try to intercept that because he also knows secrets about them that they don't really want getting out. And he will
Let the
absolutely
Freiburg
squeal.
Council do the interrogations. That's what we're here for. That's Bison, not Gav. Gav is just like,
otherwise Rosa's just not gonna be very nice to Upman.
It does not have
If
to be
she's
nice.
making a point of saying it in front of Posen, then Posen will be insisting that Upman share the same fate that Margot has.
Herr Upman is the reason we were here. He knew of the trap.
So I guess I'm wondering, like,
He knew
so
about the trap.
hang
I
on,
don't-
hang on. I'm wondering whether Len was able to intercept Rosa then, or if she was able to get it out.
I will leave that between the two of you and how well
Len
you
was
think you know each other.
Absolutely
Because, yeah.
going to try and stop Rosa and just whisper, he knows things we can't have other people knowing. They stole him down here. They beat the shit out of him. I don't think he's really part of the group anymore. And he did come to warn us and give us information that helped us track this down. I know I don't like him either. I kind of want to feed him to whatever was down there attacking Hans's men, and maybe we'll do that in the future. But for now, for our protection, we have to keep him out of the limelight.
Okay.
He should still be treated like Margot.
We can arrange that, but we can do that without him spilling the beans to other people.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm not. Yeah.
Go ahead, Bruno. What I would like you to do is to make a go ahead and make a it's just going to be your resolve and your mastery level. Roll them both together as you come upstairs.
Okay.
Runa, not Rosa.
40.
Okay. When you get upstairs, you just like you have a certainty that he was here.
smells like
And
farts.
So I can feel his aura.
You
I've
can
only
feel,
ever seen
like,
him in vision.
but you can tell that he was here, and you can smell like whatever happened in that office
Heel
before
grunt.
anybody else
You can
realizes.
smell heel grunt.
Well, I was going to say, Len has keen senses. So if that was some horrible stink,
He's probably gonna wish he didn't.
He's not
You
happy
were
about
you were
it.
intercepting
Oh, yeah, he was
Rosa. You can
intercepting
tell
Rosa.
something
Yep.
stinks
that's
of a
not
storm in
his-
the manager's office, but
but that's not his focus. Right now, it's like, Rosa, please don't. Shh. I'll buy you ice cream.
He's like trying not to sneeze while he's trying to get Rosa to not spill the beans.
Like, Bruna's just going in and looking for Honorine, and she knows that he's been here.
and
Ah.
Honorine's not here.
Is he
And
not
that's what she knows at this
anymore?
point.
Sorry, who wasn't there?
No, what she knows that the ruin mage was here.
Oh, and he's not now.
But when she goes into the room where she can kind of sense the most presence, she sees the like exploding, melty
The puddle of Iron
Oh, I
Prince.
see the Heelgrun mush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do I see Honorine?
Iron
No.
Prince smoothie.
She left.
Oh,
She left.
Right.
Yep. But it's in the nice breastplate, so you know.
You do clearly see his breastplate. Like I think you'd seen it before. That is the imperial breastplate of the Imperator. That is, um, it's one of a kind.
See if that'll.
You're coming back, sort of.
Runa's gonna take it off of him and hide it.
Okay.
For Hans.
Hans wouldn't be able to wear that.
Well, she doesn't know that.
That's fine. Okay.
She's hiding it. It's a reward.
Oh.
Okay.
And then she's gonna come
There
out
we go.
and like go to his guards and be like, Hilgrund is gone. Like she's not happy about it at all.
And there's sort of like an immediate like what, and you know
I don't know what has happened.
Yeah, and they're pushing towards the room where he was at. You see like Odell, the scalped vested man. He also pushes. By the way, he fought like perfectly valorously as far as Hans could tell. I mean, he had one arm, but
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he was funny about it.
I mean, you don't think he was trying to make jokes? You think he was just, but like
Just stating
he
a fact,
also
but
pushes
yeah.
into the room and sort of immediately like even the guards, like everybody who goes in and looks like comes out with the reaction of looking like they would like to be sick, including the hardened veterans.
With this slightly burning tuft of hair.
Yeah.
Scorch marks on the
God.
floor.
And you know, Odell kind of like he says, "How did the Roleskia do that?"
A
What
bullet
is-
in
what
the
is the
side of the
commotion?
desk.
What's going on here?
Hilgrund is mush in your office.
Ah. He's gonna walk in and see for himself. And
Runa's just gonna pat him on the back before he goes in.
How long
Yeah.
does it take me to go abscond with those books, by the way?
It was across the city a good way, so you're going to be gone for quite a while.
Sure.
Um,
She can catch a horse halfway through, I'm sure.
So there are a lot of things happening. We're about 3 minutes from our close, and I actually think it's a better idea to close here than to kind of get part way into stuff. Obviously, the Iron Princes are having a reaction to one of their own having died.
Again.
Trog wasn't
Another
there. They were literally like feet away from it. You know what I'm saying? There's like, how is this possible? Is this some sort of Roleskia or poison? Blah blah blah. Like, there's a lot like going around. Nobody has any answers yet. And meanwhile, Honorine is like across town trying to slip into the former quarters of the Iron Prince who's just been murdered to steal something, like while his guards are presumably going to be occupied figuring out who murdered him. So that feels like a good place to close things out.
It's the smartest idea Honorine's ever had.
It's a great idea. I love
our
it.
little
This-
French
There's some
raccoon.
good shit in there.
Yeah, the secret ingredient is crime.
For now, Runa, you can definitely write down that you have the Imperator's breastplate. It's a thing that, you know, could be of consequence.
She wants to read them, okay?
Oh yeah. You'll be hunted down when they find out it's missing.
Yeah,
Did you pour them out first?
You'll join the
Ew.
They have no proof that she did it though.
No, just like those are like high tier artifacts that usually stay in families, like for generations.
It's like
Yeah,
you've got
so,
Captain
like,
America's shield.
so-
and you're
Yeah,
running
well, it
around with
wasn't
it.
given to you. Wait, yeah, it was.
Yeah, it 100%.
I forgot
was,
they
actually.
have.
That's, That's the entire thing. It was given specifically.
Forgot.
It's fine. So here's the thing, like it's not a problem for somebody to have it or to have secured it. And if you give it to Hans, Hans is gonna be like, we need to find a Nibelungen like now.
Yeah.
And return this. So
Just can't keep it for like a month or longer. Once it's been missing for a bit.
yeah, like in the couple of days like immediately following, not a big deal. if somebody saw like Bruno like murder the dude and take his breastplate and run off, that'd be a different story. But this
She
is
like, in a sense, she took it off of him, so he's not rotting in it.
yeah, and like when you took it off, you had to like flick the drip off of it, of like heel-grown parts.
Oh God.
So
Oh my
Ew.
God.
It's like a hot pocket.
Stop.
Why are you trying to do the hot pocket thing?
Delicioso.
I really think it's more like meat cobbler.
Why?
now that we've had a barrage of lovely mental images, and I'm going to go back and finish my food in here in a minute.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
I don't
was
think
the one who
you
described it
are.
in the first
No,
place.
he's not.
I don't-
I'm not even a little. I'm not.
No.
All
He
right.
like schlorps out of it.
Okay.
I want to thank everybody who came out to watch the show. A quick check-in before I fully close out. How was that as a combat system? Like, I know
Much
it was
better.
kind of
That works.
rough.
That was cool.
Much
Did you all feel like you got to like do things and be seen and
Yeah.
like have a moment and stuff like that, and it still went fairly well? Like there was some big rolling, but it happened fairly fast. I feel like
Yeah, I
it,
didn't
it
have to
worked
spend
as an
like 4
experiment.
hours.
It can take some refinement, but I think it worked overall.
Yeah, I didn't have to spend 3 different turns just running my ass off to get near the combat, so it's far superior.
I really appreciate how much everybody was willing to kind of go along with my experiment about this. I wanted the map because I wanted people to have a sort of clear idea of like the space that they were fighting in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I also think that it wasn't a great idea. I might use it as like a general reference point again, but it's going to, I like the idea of like siloing if there's big combats and, kind of like
Yeah.
the specific face-offs. I am going to tweak it. It was extremely one-sided, but I also don't think I was the best about balancing it in total. So,
Well, I mean, you did make a big point that we took out like one of their biggest defense contributors right at the start too.
Yeah.
So.
Early
yes,
on.
that was, I actually want to give Bruna a drama die for that. That was an awesome moment.
Yeah.
So, and let's do nominations for one other like moment.
Honoring for having
Honoring.
to go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That whole
I was
thing.
either honoring or Gav for me. And we'll go with honoring. I'm gonna go with that one too. That was a whole thing
Honoring.
that she did.
There's a lot of lore too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Realistically, there's a lot of info about this guy.
And
Unfortunately,
she
Oh.
has
he's dead.
witnessed the man.
Yeah, she
The
definitely
guy.
got. Who's the Herald of Doom now?
Runa gets to like confirm that she's not crazy and that other people have also seen him. So that's something that'll get to come down the line.
Well, Len and Gav know of him because he was able to throw Runa,
Yep.
That's
and
Yes.
he was in
That
his
whole thing.
room.
But nobody has seen him yet to this point except Runa.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
yeah, because the vision with the Verschlingen, who got that? Was that Runa or was
Yeah, that was
Len?
her looking in on him.
Okay.
And then he was like, mm-mm-mm.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got
Thank you,
Honorine
guys.
and Runa are getting bonus drama die. And so everybody who came out to watch, or if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in with us. Happy Father's Day, whether with your natural family or your found family. As always, here at D20, we close out with the reminder that if you don't have the spoons to be kind to people, be nice to people. Even the people that wish you the poorest, mess with their minds. All right. We'll see you all. If you're watching on YouTube, smash the like and subscribe, hit the comments. If you're here in the chat with us, thank you always for coming along. Come see us on Saturday. We love having audience participation. And we will see you all next Sunday. So.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.